This couldn't happen again. This is that one. This couldn't happen again. This is that one.
Well, in the year 2000, I think I'll probably be the spaceships and the moon dictating robots to robots, or else I may be, I don't know, in charge of a robot court, judging some robots. Or I may be at the funeral of a computer.
I think it'll be
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who's throwing up those party emojis in the chat? How do you even do that? Hold up, let's see if I can... Yeah, do it again. I think it'll show it. Let's see if it'll show, like, right here. Someone do it. I don't even know how that works. I've never seen that on YouTube before. That was so cool. Oh, now you won't do it. Great. Whoever that was, I want you to know that. But we are back. It's been, how long has it been since I've streamed? We're gonna relax with this one. Take our time. Alright, let's do it this way. Hopefully the audio is good, because my last stream, it was just not working, and I haven't even streamed since then. Last stream was almost, wait, I got it. Do it again. I just saw it. Ugh, every time I turn that off, whoever's doing that does it great. I see you. There you go. You can see it now. Shout out to whoever's doing that. That's so cool. I've never seen that before. It's like a new feature, I think. 2 weeks. 2 weeks since last stream. A lot has happened since then. If you follow my Twitter, which you definitely should, at Champion Vibe, pretty easy. Let me pull it up like this. Follow my Twitter, you should have seen what's been going on lately. Scroll down. This was absolutely insane. Saw the New York Stock Exchange. I've been getting a lot of people tweeting and stuff saying like, you can just walk in. You can't just walk in there. I would say try it and see what happens, but please do not try, because you're not going to get in, and there's a lot of security. So yeah, it's like private only now. You need an invite. Keanu's in the chat right now. I'm really grateful. Thank you. Keanu was the major reason as to a lot of things happening in the last couple of weeks. So I really appreciate it. Make sure you go check him out on Twitter. But yeah, also shout out Jesse for ordering the FTM hat today. We just dropped the new in-person podcast on Trading Addicts Media. The link for that's in the description. So go check that out. It's the first time we ever recorded a podcast in person. But yeah, there's so many different things that happened. Also, I'm just gonna run through my Twitter for like the first 5 minutes of this stream, and then we're gonna get to me making my watch list for this week. We're gonna talk about everything in the stock market. I also dropped a few videos. If you haven't seen those, you might rewatch some of those. I'll get my reactions to them. So yeah, a lot to talk about. But what's going on, GT, AK, Henry, and Maxime, Keanu, all of you guys and women that are watching. Let's keep going. We're going to talk about the major earnings this week. I was able to see, or not see any, this is just on Times Square. Got a nice picture out the NASDAQ. I wanted to see, because CNBC actually records some of their shows right there, but I don't think they were recording when I was there. This was one video. We're going to watch it later. I basically went around New York City trying to take the best picture ever on a Polaroid camera. Actually have it. Have it right here. This is the camera. So, I did my thing. We'll debate whether or not I got the best picture ever. I think I did, but I might be just a little bit biased. Met Wolf, which was really cool. If you don't know Wolf on Twitter, he's been crushing it. Shout out to Holly as well. Great comedian, part of the podcast as well. Teofimo Lopez, that is insane. Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis are fighting next weekend. He's another crazy good boxer in that division. Been a huge fan of his for a while, so that was cool. I met him literally on the floor at the New York Stock Exchange. 2 times I went there actually in the last week or so. Yeah, what else do we got here? Let's keep scrolling down. This is the video I made on our tour and New York Stock Exchange. Some charts here. Get a little bit further back now. This is me, Keanu, and Jordan at the Brooklyn Bridge. Keanu kind of was the director of this photo. World Trade Center. And my first cigar. Yes, I smoked my first cigar. Shout out to Jordan for buying me a nice one. Us on the subway. Lunch. Garrity's in this one too. Also Bold Trade Finder. So we had a fun little trip. Shout out to Mike. Best driver in New York City. Absolutely. And yeah, just a lot of great times there. Of course, Garrity not picking up our FaceTime. Missed the podcast. Shout out to Zeke. I met Zeke for the first time too. That was really cool. So a lot to talk about. It's been a very interesting couple of weeks, and a lot more interesting things could be coming up soon. So yeah, let's get to it. I am going to start off by talking about what's happening this week in the market. Shout out to Cheddar Freeze, always sharing these, and Earnings Whisper as well. For economics this week, Not seeing anything crazy. I don't know if I'm missing anything. It's like there's a lot of stuff here, but I'm not seeing anything like huge. So nothing insane there, but earnings, we're heading into earnings season. We've got Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, a few financials to kick off the week on Monday and Tuesday. Then also Netflix and United after the close on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you've got Morgan Stanley, NASDAQ, Tesla, IBM, Discover. Thursday, American Express, AT&T, and then Friday, P&G. So earnings season, it feels like we just had earnings season. I don't know, it's just weird, but it is back somehow, some way. So we've got that going on. And yeah, let's talk about what's going on right now. Crypto, you have that bullish pennant on Bitcoin that broke above this $28,000 level as well. It used to be a major support in 2021. You unfortunately flushed under it in the middle of last year, and then you just broke back above it off that bullish pennant. So you are above that. I think holding above that is huge for Bitcoin. You do have some classic bearish divergence. If you go over to the 4-hour chart, you're kind of flushing right now. It's down 1.5%. I mean, it's your worst red candle in some time apart from this one last Friday. And yeah, I think this maybe could give you a back test move, and then hopefully you flip this previous resistance into a support. Then we have Ethereum, also broke above this $2,000 level. You can see that was a high from last August, also a high from February of 2021. And right now just pulling back a bit. If it doesn't recover in the next 23 hours, I mean, 1 hour is not enough to even consider anything a daily candle, but let's say it closes under down 2% or worse than down 2%, then you could get a bearish engulfing candle. But there's really not much to talk about there. I mean, I was actually looking at a lot of altcoins, a lot of smaller cap cryptos, which I really don't do. But if we go over to some weekly charts on some of these names, look, I mean, the few times that a lot of these charts have been here, they've seen insane moves to the upside, thousands of percents on some of these. So this reminds me of two things here. All these charts look just like these ones to me. So first you have this one right over here. It looks like this, right? If you want me to really have fun with this for a second here, let's put the transparency down, zoom out a little bit, stem this up, and there you go. You could see the similarities, right? Whereas this is kind of like just on these historical charts. This is not like mathematical technical analysis. It's more just psychology. You're towards this bottom part. There's also another chart that you could use to see that, which is this one. Let me make it fully not transparent. I forget the word for that for 1 second. So you can see these are kind of like the emotions that you see time and time again in the market. Let's turn the transparency down on that again, extend it out. All right, so you get the point here. It's a lot of these charts, you know, they have made huge retraces back to almost all-time lows on some of them. So that's Tezos. You've got COMP, looks very similar. BAT, GRT. I mean, if you go down to the daily on some of these, you might even be seeing Wyckoff accumulation. This is Algo. You can see pretty much all these small cap cryptos, altcoins, they're towards those historical areas where they have seen their bottoms almost all the time. Look at Storj, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times now it's bounced off that same level. So a lot of these coins are getting to a place where historically they see bottoms. So I don't know, it's been a long time since I've alerted anything in like crypto apart from like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but we will see, because if we look at a name like Bitcoin, right, it's already made this retrace back up here. A lot of those altcoins have not, so that is a little bit interesting, but time will tell, I guess. All right, so that's really it for crypto. Let's talk about other markets really quickly. US 10-year was able to bounce off that 3.3 support level. Now it's retesting the 200-day moving average as a resistance. Crude oil also testing the 200-day moving average after breaking out of this downsloping channel it's been in since June. That's a pretty decent update since last time I streamed. Quick look at metals. You've got a bearish engulfing candle confirmed for gold. Might be an area where it could start to pull back because you can see over here you have this rising wedge. So potentially a breakdown there for gold. If we take a look at silver, also have the bearish engulfing candle up here. And then as you can see, another demand line being broken. So these could be pullback areas for metals. You've also got the dollar currency index with this major inverted cup and handle, but potential hidden bullish divergence. This would pretty much be class B hidden bullish divergence because you have the same low on price and a lower low on the MACD. And of course, you are seeing a little bit of a support in this little zone. That would also be the neckline of your inverted cup and handle. So it's just a big make or break area for dollar right now. You know, inverted patterns and cup and handles and head and shoulders, they really don't mean anything until you actually break out of them. So it's not over just yet. And then finally, the Hang Seng Index consolidating for the last really 2 weeks after breaking out of this down sloping channel, but it is kind of in the middle of this huge range. You can see the top of the range here and the bottom of the range here. So it's just kind of back in the middle of that range. That's really it for other markets. Let's talk about the stock market, okay? And the simplest way to put this is, and I said this a couple weeks ago, probably over a month ago on the stream actually, that we could enter a very long phase of sideways consolidation in the stock market. We saw a very aggressive bull market. We saw a pretty quick, I don't know if you can consider it a bear market yet, but bear market for the last year at least. And now really since last November, you've just seen choppiness, right? In larger time frames, on day trades, on shorter time frames, of course, there's a lot of trades. There's some really good pullbacks and rallies within it. But the overall pattern since last December has been sideways. You were at these same prices relatively at the end of last year as well. It's not like we're at higher prices or much lower prices either. But the big thing here on the S&P 500 that you just keep returning to is around 415-ish, right? This whole entire zone over here, let me make it blue. This is it. You know, the SPY just keeps coming back to this zone, right? There's so many examples of, you've got that, you've got that, you've got this. This one you did break above it, but just to really touch the 200-day moving average. You've got this, and you've got our current test. This zone, it's where the SPY keeps coming back to. During the bull market, it was your major support. During the bear market, it's been your major resistance. So, you know, in my opinion, the clearest way to view things right now is just in this zone. It's really a coin flip. Above it should be bullish, below it should be bearish, at least short term. So that's really where you're at on the S&P 500 right now. Let me throw everything back on the chart. Go down to the 4 hour now, and you can see we have still been going up and up and up in this upsloping channel. So you're continuing to go higher and higher. So it's still an uptrend midterm. It's been in an uptrend midterm for the last month, and it still is an uptrend until you break down from this switch. You've tested it multiple times, so you haven't really confirmed it. We will see it probably, I don't know if I want to say that. I don't know if we can say it probably will break down, because you had another pattern earlier, something like this, like that, and then it broke up, as you can see over here, and then it back tested and then it went higher. So you never know, it could break up, but we will have to see. All right, and that's really all the SPY is doing for right now. You could even see this a little bit clearer on the 1 hour chart. Another thing you did late into last week was you flipped this little resistance from last Monday and last Wednesday into your support on Friday. Actually, that level's right around 411. So if you want one level heading into this week, that's a very big one that you want to hold. If you're a bull, it's 411. That's a big one. So that's the SPY. Let's move over to the Qs now. Got the classic bearish divergence on the daily. You're testing this zone of resistance. I mean, you've even got this gap that technically did not fill. You see this high over here that technically did not fill this gap over here from the gap done on Monday, August 22nd. That gap fill is still around 322. Your high of day last, or the week before last Tuesday, was on April 4th. It was like 321.63. So you did not hit 322. That's your gap fill. And then I have a couple other levels drawn out over here with those white lines. Let me actually just throw another one right there, somewhere around it. So on the daily, you have classic bearish divergence, your added resistance. Those are not great things, but again, if we zoom out, the larger picture here is kind of this inverse head and shoulders structure. If we go down to the 1 hour chart, and I did tweet this out, you have this bull flag that you broke out of. Again, it's just adding to the 50-50 stance that's really taking place right now. Moving on to the ARK ETF, this is actually really interesting going into the week. It's still trying to break out of this down sloping channel and break above the 200-day moving average. Really clearing above 41 would be the big thing over here for the ARK ETF. It hasn't really seen the move off the lows like a lot of other indices have seen, but it has continued to hold this $35 level, which is literally only like not even 10% under the current price for almost a year now after dropping down into it. So if we also go to the 4 hour chart here, you could probably start to draw out a little bit of a triangle pattern forming. So it'll be interesting to see which way that breaks this week. And then finally the Russell 2000 small caps. I don't know, it's pretty, I mean, it is pretty simple, but it is still like, what are you doing? The simple part to this is there's a very clear way to look at this price action. There's a clear level of resistance right over here, and this is your demand line. And at some point, you will either break above this resistance, which would be good, or break under this demand line, which would be bad. Probably send you back down to at least 170 to retest that level. So this is what the Russell 2000 is doing. I haven't looked at small caps that much in the past couple of months, but that's really all it's doing for right now. So that's what's going on in the stock market. Let's move on to the swings. First off, Amazon, inverse head and shoulders setup, trying to break above this inflection zone right around 103-ish. This is really right where I alerted it, so not much of any change there, just waiting. Space also pretty much around where I alerted it. It's just, can it hold the double bottom or not? You've got classic bullish divergence and a major double bottom on the daily. If it fails, the stop is there. Then you've got GameStop, already hit 3 out of 4 targets. Just a little bit of an update on it. Let me get on to, first of all, on the 4 hour chart, you do have hidden bullish divergence on GameStop. But if we get on to the 1 hour chart over here, what I'm going to do is redraw that supply line and then redraw this demand line. And you can see that it is in this pretty large wedge it's been in since gapping up on earnings. So this could be something to keep a close eye on for this week. If it breaks up, 24 is the next resistance level, and then after that, probably your high around 27 that you put in post earnings. Moving on, Ford hit the first target last week perfectly. It was sitting right there. The first target was right there at 13 because of that 200-day moving average, and it pulled back right at it. That's completely fine. GM, this was one as well. You know, I was thinking about putting that first target right under that 200-day moving average, but it was just really not an equitable trade at that point. So it kind of did reject the 200-day moving average and fell back down to where it was alerted, and that's really it for the swings. So now let me do some scanning for the week. I already wrote down, I did a little bit of scanning earlier today, and I did write down a few names. So the first one is Google. Let's take a look at this. It's a premium swing. It already hit the first target. These were the other targets after that. But if you take a look at this 108, 109 level on Google, it's been trying to break above it for over 2 months now, and it really hasn't been able to close above it. This was your highest close of the year on Google. Highest close since last September, actually, for Google. That took place on Friday. So it's trying to break out right now. Look at this 4-hour shark. I mean, tell me harmonics aren't real. If you want to learn more about them, I have my free course in the description. Go check that out. But like, look at that. First low, second low, boom. Perfect play. And as you can see right now, I mean, even if you want to look at this like a cup and handle, there you go. That's your cup and handle for Google. You already broke out of it at the end of last week. So it's a very, very big breakout test taking place for Google right now heading into this week. So that's one name I am watching. I should probably keep that on my chart. Then I also put Amazon, which we already kind of looked at. It is one of the swings as well. But if we get onto the 4-hour chart, you can see it's got triple hidden bullish divergence now on the 4-hour. And let me extend this zone out. It's trying again to break back above this, and if it does, I mean, you got a little bit of resistance here, like 104. But after that, there's really nothing until like 110 almost at that gap fill. So that's another name. Another name is Tesla, which also is a premium swing that perfectly hit the first target before pulling back. But if we look at the 4-hour on Tesla, you can see that heading into the week, Tesla is testing this bullish wedge breakout. On the 1-hour chart, you could probably chart the same thing, but even this 184 level has kind of been your support for a long time now. So that is Tesla. Another name, AMD. Let's extend this. You can see this large wedge on AMD. If we go to higher time frames, it just looks like a bull flag. But look at the last two times you had this set up on AMD. These were the moves you saw after. So I don't know, will it happen again? We will have to find out at some point this week or the next week or something. But we've seen this before on AMD. I don't know if we're gonna see it again, but pretty interesting potential bull flag setting up there. You've also got 4-hour hidden bullish divergence pretty much. It's a very small line that's spacing off of though. Another name that I was looking at during scanning today. First of all, actually I wanted to share these in the premium watch list, so let me do that. Just the names I already kind of looked at. All right, next one is Roblox. This was also a swing from the past. Final target did not hit yet. And take a look at that breakout zone it is testing. Seeing some crypto messages. Bitcoin's down 1%, you know? It's down 1% on the new day. It's been going up for like weeks now. It's all good for now. I don't know if it's going to stay all good, but for right now, it's like a pullback is bound to happen at some point. Let's see what else. That was Roblox. Coinbase next. A lot of people might miss this level because it's in the middle of a lot of ups and downs, but if we really zoom in here, 68.38, there's a lot of wicks at this level, and you can see even especially here. That was a big resistance from March 23rd to April 3rd, and then over the past week or so, it's flipped into a support. You've also got this gap fill up around almost $77. And then finally, AI is sitting at the bottom of this range. Probably looks better. I mean, I want to use this time frame because they're all 4-hour charts. Let me just do it like this. There we go. sitting at the bottom of this range with a 4-hour hidden bullish divergence. So those are some names I already had literally just sitting on the notes app on my phone. Now I'm going to do some more scanning for tickers that I haven't even thought about. And I'm going to be using TradyTix. You can see it right over here, it just popped up. So right now, I'm looking at options from last Friday. I'm doing calls, bought, blocks. I'm gonna see if there's any block trades into the end of last week that were not ETFs. It'll work, there we go. I'm gonna drop some of these into my watch list now. Fisker $10 calls. What's the premiums on that? About 50K. Nah, it's not that crazy. I'm not sure if JP Morgan reports this week. Pretty sure Bank of America does. I haven't seen the name Fubo in a long time. I don't know if Citi's reporting this week. Go check all that out. So there's some live options flow, and I'm gonna move over to Swing AI. Gonna hit bullish price action, bullish options AI, high confidence. Grab some of these names. Alright, should be good for right now. Yeah, if you have any ticker requests, feel free to drop them in the chat. While I'm scanning, I could throw some of them in. And let's look through this list, see if anything stands out to me. USO. Charge point is sitting at a very big support. Huge gap up, so I guess JP Morgan already reported, it seems. Yeah, huge gap up there. It's like a bump and run pattern. Or a just major descending running wedge, but that is a very interesting move it's making. Bank of America earnings are coming up. Trying to reclaim the bottom of this range. We'll see. Citi as well. I'm not going to include on the watch list because it is a range, but gapped back above the 200-day moving average. Futsu, I mean, yeah, it's consolidating, but it's just very 50-50. What a move for AU, wow. Dish is getting crushed. AAL's been dropping quite a bit. PBR. Testing the 200-day moving average. Trying to break above this level. It's testing breakout. Very big level. Look at 12 bucks pretty much. Multiple highs and lows. 200-day. It's very big. Shopify trying to back test to get back above that zone. Plug's just kind of plummeting right now. Team, yeah, it does have this little flag kind of developing here. Also on a wave of hidden bullish divergence. SoFi broke out of that wedge, got hidden bullish divergence, trying to consolidate right above the 200-day moving average. So let me also send this in the weekly watch list to premium members. You're all getting it free on the stream, but obviously I really don't do this on the stream much. So if you want this every single week, you just saw how I pretty much do it. Feel free to sign up. That is the pinned chat and the first link in the description. Last wave of options has been really good too. Even last week, I really didn't have a lot of time to alert, but this is like one of the only ones last week. Swings have been doing pretty well as well. It's not always going to be great, but it has been pretty great recently. Oh, wrong channel. ChargePoint, JP Morgan, Bank of America. PBR. Thankfully my audio settings looks like they're fine. I don't know what was happening on the last stream. I think I ended up deleting it. Shopify. And then team. Shout out to Maxime for that one. And there we go. There you go, weekly watch list up for premium members. Futures for stocks pretty flat right now. Bitcoin as well. Low time frames hasn't done much in the last few minutes. Just really that rough candle right over here, but that was for the most part it. I mean, I guess if you want to look at this as just like a high-low range, that's your high-low range on the 1 hour chart. So you'll see. But yeah. Wonder what Doge's done since it was head page of Twitter, front page of Twitter. Looks like it went up, pulled back to the 200 moving average, bounced back up into this resistance. How's energy looking? I mean, you got this breakout. Broke out of that channel. It's a pretty steep handle for a cup and handle. But even this level right over here, it's a pretty interesting one, 87.26-ish. It's trying to break up of that now. We will see what happens there. United States Steel, that's an important zone for it to reclaim. It was a swing, it hit the first target, but then just kind of fell and fell and fell. All right, so that's pretty much what I'm watching overall heading into this week in the market. That was a pretty solid half an hour or so. Getting ready. It takes time to make money, and that's not a lot of time. So Obviously, this is just a little snippet of what you should be doing every single weekend to prepare. I feel like I would stream it to share some education. A lot of interesting things coming up this week. So yeah, make sure in the Discord, the link for that is in the description. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm not going to lie, I was going to sit here a little bit longer and kind of react to these last 2 videos I dropped on my channel. But I'm very tired, so I'm not going to be doing that. The charts kind of got me yawning a little bit. So make sure you go watch them yourself if you haven't seen them. If you want more vlogs like this. First one was us visiting the New York Stock Exchange with Peter Tuchman. Jordan and Keanu were in that video. Second one was me heading around New York City trying to take the best picture ever taken on a Polaroid camera. I went all the way on top of this skyscraper. Literally, it was like I took a picture right there on top of the edge. And the third one is a vacation I took about a month ago to both Cancun and Colombia. So if you want to see those, so the last 3 videos on my channel. And of course, we also did drop the new podcast episode today, in-person podcast episode. I'm actually going to put the link for that in the chat right now if you want to take a look. Really entertaining. It pretty much just talked about that whole entire trip and a bunch of other cool stuff. So go check out all those videos. That's 4 different videos, 3 vlogs, and a podcast. They're also just sitting here in the YouTube alerts channel of the Discord if you want to use those links. And yeah, thank you for watching the stream. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you very soon. Peace out.